All right, V, go for it if you can hear me. I'll be in a second. Go for it.
Good morning, everyone. It's the one and only V, the Guerrilla Economist, coming to you with my main man, El Cuco. And we're bringing you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. Follow us on Twitter at The Rogue Money and RogueMoney.net, the most preeminent, fastest growing news and geopolitical website on planet Earth. And also check us out on every single Facebook and Steemit and DTube and all the other good stuff that's out there. Not to mention every single podcasting app known to humanity, folks. RogueMoney.net. With that being said, also check out our sponsors, RemainCalm.net, RemainCalm.net. Whether you need to get your credit score fixed, get yourself debt-free out of the hands of the collectors, you're running scared, you're worried about some credit card bill you got to pay, then you need to go to RemainCalm.net and sign up for their credit cleaning program. It is simply amazing. Also, guys, check out if you need funding. You know, they can get you up to $600,000 unsecured with their network of 335 lenders. If your credit score is already good, you can use that to, I don't know, buy stocks, buy cryptos, buy a car, buy a house, buy whatever the heck you want to do, invest in a new business, whatever you want to do. It's your money and you want it now. So go to RemainCalm.net and get it. Get that money. Like Grant Cardone would say, get that money. Anyway, also check out the Crypto School, thecryptoschool.io. You want to learn about the wallets. You want to learn about the exchanges. You want to learn how to move in and out of fiat. You want to learn how it all happens. The multipolar, decentralized reality and world is upon us. Either you're on the train or you're getting left behind, my friend. Thecryptoschool.com. And we are not affiliated with anybody else. So I just want to give you the heads up on that or any other schools. We are the first. And we're the best, especially with what we're going to be launching very soon. Also, guys, check out the Silverback. The Silverback is where it's at. When the NSA is on the attack, you want the Silverback to watch your back. It is 1024-bit ECC military-grade encryption, and ECC makes it extremely strong, extremely unhackable. It's the best way to secure your crypto wallet. It's the best way for you to surf the internet, encrypted messaging, full-on Office suite, the whole 9 yards, all on a custom-designed Linux OS operating system. With that being said, Siege, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, V. I'm all pumped up. 2 cups of coffee, ready to rock it out.
Is this weird? Like, all of a sudden, like, you know, I know I'm the gorilla and all that, but dude, I just woke up, just drinking my dark roast. Now my armpits are itchy. It's weird.
It's all that cold weather. That forced heat drying your skin out, you know? It's just crazy.
Bro. Like, I'm literally scratching my armpits like a monkey.
Thanks for that information, V. I appreciate it.
No problem.
It's times like this that our audience should be appreciative that our cams aren't on, right, V?
Well, yeah, and then they get a good laugh. I literally look like an orangutan in a zoo, you know, scratching his armpits. All I'm waiting for is the woo coming out of my mouth. But that's next, though. Eventually, that's what's going to happen. I'm devolving into an ape, Steve. Literally devolving into an ape. What's going on with you, man? Yeah, is as the weather in your neck of the woods? Because I look outside and it's like it's whiteout conditions over here. CJ's on mute. CJ. CJ? Hello. Am I still live? This is weird. I don't know what's happening. Well, let me find out what's happening. I will go to youtube.com. I will see our show here. Okay. All right. So I'm live. Okay. All right. They hear the gorilla. All right, folks. So anyway, let's get this whole thing cracked off because we're talking about the fake news awards. And what better way to talk about the fake news awards than the one and only fakest newser, the fakest anchor guy out there, which is Jim Acosta. I don't know who I'd like to throw a brick at more, Jim Acosta or Don Lemonhead or Jake Tapeworm, any one of these guys, okay? But Anyway, you all saw yesterday, and I think it's absolutely hilarious because I want to start the day off a little lighthearted. Donald Trump, telling the idiot Jim Acosta to get out. I think CJ's back. CJ, is that you?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, V. So I'm not sure where you lost me. I don't know. I've got one weird connection, but I'm going to dial it in somewhere else right now. But so where did you lose me talking about the videos yesterday, the interviews?
Yeah, you didn't even mention that.
I didn't even mention that. Okay, so real quick, so before we jump into Jim Acosta, go back and check out the interviews yesterday that V did. Great interviews. Tradcat Knight, Bankster Slayer, then also Dex was back, and then also for our fans, just so that we are cross posting. Ken Chorgan Jr.'s The Daily Economist shows on our channel primarily because the algos are going crazy on YouTube right now. I brought up my channel V, and you want to know what suggested videos they had for me?
What?
You know how it feeds you the Young Turks.
Oh, CNN, disgusting.
A CNN video, in other words. So we got to counter that. So that's the reason why we're doing it primarily. But yes, let's jump right into today's the day. So our fans are aware today's the day. So if you haven't, posted, or if you are posting, make sure to tag Fake News Awards, We the People, Great Awakening. I believe right now, like on Twitter, that they're number 3 and number 4, I believe that are trending. So keep posting that. But jump into it, V.
Yeah, absolutely, brother, man. It's I mean, Jim Acosta, bro. Let's talk about that moron real quick. This guy is so annoying. And these guys are out there thinking that, oh, look, I got kicked out. This is a war against the media. The media is so ridiculously backwards. They are so inured in their own hubris that they are blind to the fact that they have an approval rating that's even lower than Congress. They have an approval rating that's absolutely abysmal. That poll after poll after poll, it shows that Americans trust Vladimir Putin more than they trust the American media. That Americans trust the Chinese government more than they trust the American media. It's incredible to see this. And yet these guys think for 1 second, CJ, that somehow, that all of a sudden the American public is behind them, that they can go ahead and say and lay claims to, this is a Nazi type situation here. We've been thrown out. This is persecution against the media, and they're going to get some sort of contempt. That's just not going to happen. It's ridiculous.
No, and if they think that John McCain is going to come to the rescue, because that's the propaganda we're going to hear like the next week out, is it? Oh, Trump is against free speech. He's against the media in America, and this is Nazism. This is dated back. Time out, people. Time out. The only war against the media, V, is the media's war on the truth. That is the only war that's being conducted right now. They are trying to promote propaganda. They're trying to shift foreign policy. So much fake news. I'll give you an example. So the other day, a article came out, and it was in regards to new sanctions that are going to be placed on Russia. New sanctions. Okay. So when they asked the ambassador specifically to question, hey, what is this about? And everything's like, I have no idea what this is all about. Again, that's just the media's propaganda. So don't buy into it. We have to counter that attack, V.
Absolutely correct, my man. Absolutely correct. And it's important. We can't get distracted because there's so many other important events. There's so many other important metrics that we need to be watching. One of those metrics, look, I've been saying it for quite some years right now. And I think, I've been saying that, commercial real estate is the thing to watch. I've been saying that real estate prices in prime locations like right here in New York, Chicago, LA, you're going to be looking at these primo expensive real estates, and they're going to start coming down. And this just in from Wolf Street by Wolf Richter. Rigorous and broad-based crackdown by Chinese government on capital flight. And folks, look, I've said so many times, a majority of the commercial real estate space that's in Manhattan is owned by the Chinese. We all know that. We all know that even in places like Vancouver, which has had a hot real estate market on the residential side, we've seen what happened when Chinese money was pulled out of Vancouver. We've seen the mansions that all of a sudden were on the market for 40% less. We've seen mansions that were abandoned. Literally, I've seen YouTube videos where people were flying their drones from outside of the mansion and into the mansion and flying around in the various rooms of the mansion and then flying out. Abandoned mansions left and right, real estate markets popping, okay? And the central bank and all the financiers that are in Canada they're doing whatever they can to prop up that real estate market. Now, we're seeing those fissures move from Canada to Australia. And I detailed for you that this is going to start spreading amongst many of the Western countries because they are all not only straddling, but holding each other's collateral. They have chopped up most of these mortgage-backed securities and sold it globally, worldwide. So it's a la 2007 all over again. And we're seeing, again, capital flight out of Manhattan real estate right here in New York. And we already know, folks, look, New York City foreclosure rates are at 89%. 89%. Okay? New York City real estate's at 89% foreclosure. Rental prices in New York have flatlined to 2013 lows. It's plummeting even faster. And the last shoe to fall will be commercial real estate in the city, and that's exactly what's happening. Commercial real estate is down 53%.
Wow.
53%. Okay, that is the annual sales in the billions is down 53%. The rigorous and broad-based crackdown by the Chinese government on capital flight, and particularly on overseas investments in risky real estate by over-leveraged Chinese conglomerates, is reverberating through the priciest trophy office market in the entire United States, and that is Manhattan. That is the trophy office space. Okay, like Rogue Media, we have a little holdout over there on Fifth Avenue. Okay, and I'll tell you right now, it is the most ridiculous office spaces in the world are in Manhattan. And for the year 2017, sales of large office properties in Manhattan after a terrible Q3 and a horrible Q4 fell just to 32 transactions. Think about that. Large sale office property sales, CJ, in the entire 2017, in the most priciest, most hottest real estate market in the entire country, they only had 32 transactions.
Wow. Crazy.
That's it. Okay.
I would say there's a huge flight of money leaving, V.
Massive. And this phenomenon is something to watch because you can only do so much to manipulate the market. You can only do so much to prop up the real estate market because all these charades, all these scams are interlinked in order to prop up the house of cards. One of these stools, which is the real estate market in which a lot of the financial fraud is hidden. Okay, if that falls, then the bond fraud will fall as well with it. And the bond fraud goes, you can kiss the stock market goodbye. And that is why we're seeing a 26,000 point down. Why? Because they got to stuff the money somewhere. You see, before this whole entire Chinese crackdown, what happened a year ago, Siege? Remember they passed the Foreign Investor Act?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Where they limited the or they put restrictions on foreign investors into U.S. real estate. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm not.
Why do they do that? They're like, oh, we want to crack it down. We don't want foreigners to hold American real estate. Do you think that's why? Do you think the scumbag politicians really care? All of a sudden, they care about American real estate. Scumbag politicians who take money from foreigners every single day. Scumbag politicians who take money from Chinese investors every single day. Any chance they get, they have a handout. Do you think they care about Chinese and foreign investors investing in America? Do you think they actually care? No, they don't care. So why do they do it? Why do they pass that Foreign Investor Act? I'll tell you why. And you're going to only hear it here on Rogue Money. They passed that act because they wanted to redirect funds directly into the stock market. They want to because they understood the handwriting's on the wall. Chinese officials have talked to American officials years ago and say, hey, you know what, we got some capital flight here. We need to manage this because it's a systemic risk to us. We're going to start cracking down on Chinese investors. And all of a sudden, the American banksters got a hold of it and they said, well, that's not good for our business. Because if you guys pull out, that's going to create a dearth in liquidity, number one. Number two, you guys pull out, all of a sudden, then we can't run the type of financial shenanigans that we've been running for the last several decades. That means, hey, if we got to sacrifice the real estate market in order to prop up the stock market and hyperinflate it as much as possible, then that's just what we're going to do. Enter 26,000 point Dow. That's
Boom.
what's happening.
Boom. One other thought on that V, just real quick. And I think it's important for us to understand that, you know, as far as the fake news and the mentality that's being built and the propaganda that's carried along with it, it goes both ways, right? It goes both ways. Not the only the assault against the administration, but also of suppressing the knowledge from the people. So what you just said is exactly true. So when we see these news stations, Fox News, whoever you listen to, and they're talking about, oh, the Dow's, you know, record highs, and through this administration is 20-30% up, all this data. But then you look at the hardline numbers. You look at the hardline numbers that you just covered. Okay, I get it. I understand why they're doing it, because they don't want to put fear in the American people. They don't want to put fear to keep people from spending their money, from investing in cryptos, from buying precious metals. You know, they want to keep that money in the existing system. Correct. I get why they do it. However, that for those that are red pilled, you have to understand the truth. You know, V just covered in regards to the real estate market there. That's just a small glimpse. Yep. You know, we're getting ready to talk about the automotive industry that is almost like a complete free fall right now, where Ford doesn't even look like it's going to be an automotive company in the future. V.
You know, it's pretty interesting. I was watching the North American International Auto Show, which is in Detroit, and every so often I watch it because not only am I a gearhead and I love cars, and I see it because of new technologies coming out. I see the trends. Some of these trends that I see in the automotive landscape is disturbing, to say the least. And it's funny to me how it's no longer the automotive engineers that are piloting the companies. It's actually, I see some fingerprints of SJW nonsense. I see some fingerprints of Silicon Valley nerds. Americans do not want electric cars. Okay, Americans are not interested in hybrid cars. These things have the sales of these things have been tepid. Americans have been snapping up trucks and SUVs at an alarming rate. You know, hence Ford is contemplating discontinuing the Ford Fusion, which is a great car. I mean, my God, I rented one coming out of an airport. It was a Fusion Platinum Edition, and I was thoroughly impressed. I was like, wow, I'd buy this car and be completely happy. At the 2.4 liter Ecotec motor, turbocharged. I'm sorry, the Eco Boost, not Ecotec. Ecotec is GM, but Eco Boost motor, and I was thoroughly impressed. But they're not selling any of them. The Americans want SUVs. So here I am. I'm watching the Detroit Auto Show, and I'm looking at what is going to be the next trends. And Toyota is. I was watching the Toyota event, and Toyota was talking about, oh, this is our new Avalon. We're no longer a car company, is what they're saying. We're no longer a car company. We're a human mobility company, which is what they're trying to do. Think about it. A human mobility company. And what are they talking about? I mean, about a day or two ago, if you looked at the front page of Drudge, what did you see? You saw a picture of a driverless car. It says GM's autonomous future. There's no steering wheel. There's no gas pedals. There's no brake pedals. Nothing. Oh, God. It's the most stupidest in the world.
Who the hell wants a car like that?
Nobody.
Nobody.
And every single autonomous car that's been produced has been crashing. Okay? Nobody wants it. This is something that, folks, we need to draw the line. We don't want autonomous cars. And look, as much as you love your gadgets and your doodads and your touchscreens, okay, you need to resist as much as possible the electronic interference or the electronic penetration into your automobile space. Let me tell you something. Most of you folks that are listening to the show will not have an Amazon Alexa sitting around in your house. Most of you listening to the show will not allow a Google Home into your house, one of those devices. I sure as hell don't. Okay? But you allow that into your vehicles. You allow vehicles with electric steering. You allow vehicles with full automation. You allow vehicles. Some of you even go by that disgusting, horrid iPad on wheels called a Tesla. These things are hackable. These things are controllable. There's a lot of look. I'm a gearhead. I love cars, but there's a majority of cars that I just simply don't buy because it's hackable, because it's interferable. I'm not interested in those vehicles. I like to feel the road. And it's important. But folks, automotive travel has a lot to do with our personal liberties and freedoms. We need to draw the line there. Resist these automated self-driving nonsense, man. And I'm telling you, it's pathetic. It really is. But go ahead, C's. Let's jump into this whole
yeah, that's a great point.
The forecast. Go ahead.
That's a great point in terms of the technology, in terms of the automobile industry trying to evolve, if you will, and they're gonna label it that they're being innovative, right? That's how they're labeling. Oh, we're being innovative, and that goes back to trying to basically create or direct society upon the wishes, basically trying to create marketplaces. And that's not how marketplaces should work. You shouldn't be out there trying to create specific things based upon your agenda. And now we have information coming about Ford. So mind you, okay, that the economy is doing so great, the stock market's at an all-time high. So let's break down this report a little bit regarding Ford in its most recent financial forecast. So basically, this article is coming out saying that sales have really plateaued amid rising auto loan losses, and that after a year that Ford got rid of about 10% of its global workforce, Tuesday afternoon, Ford disappointed once again, reporting preliminary financial results of 2017 and guidance that fell short of investor expectation in a downloaded forecast. And so let's break this down. So basically, they gave estimates of about $1.83. They came in about $1.78 per share. That's 2017 numbers. But what's more alarming is their 2018 forecast view, which they're adjusting earnings of about $1.45 to $1.70 per share, and that's based upon the estimate of $1.83. So everyone can do the math there, okay? But what really woke people up is what their executive vice president said at the end of going over the numbers, and what he specifically stated is that the president of global markets, Jim Farley, who said that Ford is pivoting away from being a full line automaker and will shift to low volume, high margin cars, which is a substantial metamorphosis for America's premier auto brand. So that's pretty alarming, V. When you think of Ford, when you think of the history, it's kind of like Sears, right? It's kind of like the Sears of the retailers, Ford, and for them to miss earnings for 2017 in what they're labeling a boom economy, and then look at 2018, the year that we're in, that everyone's hyping up as the year of greatness for everyone, and they're putting out these numbers. V, this doesn't match. This is in complete contrast of what the perception that the media is hyping up with this economy.
Absolutely correct, my man. And here's the deal. Let me explain to you folks when he says we're moving away, we'll shift. Ford is pivoting away from full-line automaker and will shift to low-volume, high-margin cars, a substantial metamorphosis for America's premier auto brand. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does it mean to shift to low-volume, high-margin cars? It means more SUVs, more crossovers. That's what it simply means. Folks, SUVs, crossovers are significantly cheaper to build, okay? What they're starting to realize, if you create a specific crossover platform, you can create one platform that's shared on multiple models. I think the best example of this would be Volkswagen Auto Group with their MQB platform, which is shared on a myriad of Volkswagen and Audi products. Okay, you cut a lot of cost that way. I mean, it's incredible to see what Ford is doing, but you could see what's happening in the sense of you have number one, you had a great product portfolio this year with Ford. That product portfolio you're talking about, you have the Focus, you have the Fusion, you have Detroit Auto Show, they just unveiled the new Ranger. Okay, they have the Ford GT this year. They have the Focus RS this year. I mean, exciting portfolio and great products lined up, great cars lined up. The quality control's gotten better, and all of a sudden, nothing. They missed their stock thing. Something's going on, bro. Something's going on, and this is a sign of the economy in general, folks. There's a problem. People say, "Well, it's because of exchange rates. That's what did it, right? That's what they're saying, CJ. It's because of exchange rates, right?
Yeah, in the future, yes, but not 2017.
Americans are not buying cars like they used to. Drive through any dealership, you will see overflow lots like you would not believe, number one. Number two, the average age of a car in America right now that's on the road is 11 years. We haven't seen that in quite a long time. People are keeping their cars longer because of the economic uncertainty. And whatever's happening because of, oh my God, the economy is booming. The economy is on a nonsensical euphoria. It makes no sense whatsoever. The real metrics, okay. Again, look, we talked about earlier in the program the ridiculousness of 26,000 point Dow. Well, if you think that's ridiculous, you're going to be even more surprised when you see a 30,000 point Dow, and probably more shocked when we see a 35,000 point Dow sometime out towards the end of this year of 2018. So these are the things that are happening, man. It's no one's buying cars. Everybody's missing their targets. Okay, so they got to reevaluate their sales targets in a major way.
Bingo.
What's the next thing on the we have here?
Just real quick, China downgrades U.S. debt rating from an A- to a triple B+. Warns U.S. insolvency would detonate the next crisis, and this pretty much stems from the political, what they're labeling as the deficiencies in U.S. political ecology and tax cuts that directly reduce the federal government's source of debt repayment, weakening the base of government debt repayment. So this is specifically targeting the tax cuts. And we specifically talked about this, was the fact that the recent tax cuts paid no mind to the amount of debt that the U.S. government continues to incur, does nothing to address the spending, the drunken sailors in Washington, D.C., and their spending and adding, and what this debt is going to create. And so therefore, China's evaluating things, saying, wait a minute, you have the Fed that's been talking about, raising interest rates. Number one, how is the U.S. government going to afford to pay those raising rates? How is corporate debt, how are corporations going to be able to afford that rise in that raise in rates? So therefore, China's saying, you know what, we're done. So not only are they talking about potentially looking back on any type of U.S. treasuries, now they're kind of evaluating, saying, you know what, this is more economic. I don't want to call it, they label it a trade war. However, specifically, China's looking at this and saying, you know what, this isn't a good sign of the future of the dollar and the amount of debt that the U.S. is going to have the next several years. V.
What's amazing is when you look at the ballsiness of this move. When you look at the ballsiness of this move, is quite amazing. They wait first to build a new Silk Road. They wait first to have the OBOR, the One Belt, One Road initiative, built out, and all the supporting structures, the Shanghai Gold Exchange, the coming Petro-Yuan gold trade settlement, all these things in place, the SIPs, the alternative to SWIFT, the NDB, the New Development Bank, and of course the AIIB, all these alternative systems that a vast majority of the world is clamoring towards, except for the mentally insane Western nations and their lackey countries. Okay. And then on the heels of this, they announced that the Gong, which is their credit rating agency, has just downgraded the United States into a triple B+. Basically, guys, we are at the same credit level rating as Peru, Colombia, and Turkmenistan. That's good company right there. We are the same as Peru. Okay. All right. Granted, I love Peruvian foods. My God, if you ever get a chance to eat Peruvian, go for it. Oh my God, the chaufa.
No, don't start. You're gonna make me hungry. Don't start me.
God. Lomo saltado. Where do I begin, brother? Whew. Love Peruvian food. but we're in the same credit level as Peru. We're in the same credit level as Colombia and all its problems, and Turkmenistan. Okay, and this is what they're saying: deficiencies in the current U.S. political ecology make it difficult for the efficient administration of the federal government. So the national economic development derails from the right track. Okay. Now, what they're saying is increasing reliance on debt to drive development would erode solvency. That sounds like Austrian economics to me. Increasing reliance on debt to drive development would erode its solvency. Think about that for a second. The virtual solvency of the federal government would be likely to become the detonator of the next financial crisis. They're not that far from reality. They're not that far from what is being said, CJ.
Nope.
You know?
Right.
This, so they know what's coming. They're not showing up to the bond parties. When the bond market, when there's a bond sale, the Chinese are not showing up with wheelbarrows saying, "Hey, you know what? We'll take 2, please." They're not doing that. They're going to become net sellers. Who's the number one buyer of U.S. bonds, U.S. Treasuries? Who's the number one buyer? The Federal Reserve. It's the Federal Reserve. I mean, is that sickening?
Yeah, I mean, buying our own debt, nice.
Yeah, and I understand the entire move that China did is political, but they're sending a strong message to the rest of the world. Hey, look at us. Look at what we're doing. We're a viable alternative. You can do business with us, and it'll be fair and equitable, and we won't bomb you. We won't try to assassinate your leaders. We won't try to supplant your government. We won't do any of that. Come and do business with us. Come join the multipolar world and enrich yourself. And look at all the countries that have done so and have greatly, greatly benefited versus what we've done. Look at our track record, which is abysmal. Abysmal. We haven't done anything right since World War II. We haven't done anything right.
Well said, V. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The new oil standard, buddy. Speaking of China shooting the shot across the bow, now we have a new oil standard that's hot on the heel to deliver the knockout blow into the entire petrodollar. We've all heard about the petro-yuan gold trade settlement. And now, folks, have you heard about ESPO? CJ, break it down.
Hey, V, my laptop is giving me fits right now, so I'm trying to restart it.
All right, no problem. I'll break it down.
Okay, please do. Okay.
The new, folks, here's the deal. We have, throughout the course of many years and many decades, have used the Brent and the WTI as the global benchmark, okay? Now, there's a new Siberian oil blend that's really beginning to edge out what we've been used to in terms of pricing oil. Now, this is huge, okay? The East Siberia Pacific Ocean Pipeline, or the East Siberia Pacific Ocean, or ESPO, is a Russian crude oil blend sold to the East Asian and U.S. West Coast market. The ESPO blend, now I want you to think about this here. The ESPO blend sold by Russian producers to Asia Pacific refiners and international traders is priced basis FOB port of Cosimo. FOB is, free on board. That's just a shipping term. Since it began exporting crude in December 2009 from then tiny facility in the port of Cosmino, volumes in support of its infrastructures have grown dynamically. The ESPO pipeline is 3,000 miles pipeline from Taishet, Kashieshko to Skovodonio, Cosimo. The 1,700 mile long first stage runs. And it's going into the whole pipeline thing, okay? The parallel, okay, so what is this? The exports of ESPO oil from that port accounted through in 2017, 31.711 million tons. Okay? I want you to think about that. I'm going to break it down for you guys real quick. Basically, 32 million tons of oil comes out of the ESPO per year. Last year, 32 million. This year, we're going to probably see more. We're going to probably see about 35 million tons. The buyers of ESPO are China, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, Thailand, Singapore, the Philippines, India, United States. Everybody. Okay? Everybody. In other words, if you look at the entire ASEAN economy, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, they're all buyers. They're all buyers. They're all buying. Okay? When you look at this whole entire thing, why am I bringing this up, right? Why is ESPO huge? Why is ESPO huge? Why is it edging out WTI and Brent? The largest oil consuming economies right now that are on fire are in the East. The largest oil consuming economies that are burgeoning, that are on fire, that are on growth, that are on 5, 6, 7, 8% year over year growth are in the East. They're not in the West. The West is being deindustrialized. We in the West are being gutted, while the wealth is transferring to the East. In order to fuel that wealth, you need oil. And irrespective of what environmentalists say, irrespective of what politicians say, there's only two currencies in this world. This is big boy stuff. This is beyond cryptos. This is beyond any of that. That's for the masses. Okay? Two currencies in this whole entire planet. Only two. Gold and oil. Gold and oil. Those are the two currencies. And people are like, well, there's the peak oil theory, blah, 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 blah. There's no such thing as peak oil. Oil is abiotic. There's no such thing as peak oil. There's no such thing as, we have like 10 years left of oil. No. We have much more than that. And contrary to popular myth, oil doesn't come from dinosaur bones. Okay? It's abiotic. It's produced in mass pressure and it's constantly being replenished. Okay? So oil shall always be part of the process. No matter how many windmills you dream of, no matter how many hydroelectric power plants you think of, no matter how much green cars you drive in, all of that which I just described requires oil to produce. Okay. Oil to produce. You understand? So the ESPO is a new standard. And I'm telling you right now, this new gold standard is being set up. This new standard in oil, the ESPO, will be set up as part of the whole petro-yuan gold trade settlement. It's all going to be part of it. It is a mechanism of that. It is the alternative that you are seeing. And that's why it's important to watch, folks. These are real metrics. These are real things that are happening.
Boom.
With that being said, CJ, you cannot stop the sweetness. The bus driver. Let's break that down real quick, man.
Yeah, so everyone knows, but Maduro has been calling for a crypto back to his oil, and he's asking for the 10 countries to help support him to do that. Now, keep in mind that his newly elected parliament has declared this illegal already. So he's up there advocating for this, saying, hey, I put on the table, brother governments of the ALBA, the proposal of the cryptocurrency of the petro, so we can make it as one of the projects of integration of the 21st century in a bold way, but also in a manner of a creator and a creative. So again, just the specifics around this is basically almost like a fiat-based crypto that he's wanting to promote and to try in some way legitimize to his illicit, transactions of his oil. And the parliament that has already said, no, you can't have this, this is completely illegal. I don't see this going anywhere. In fact, I think Russia and China are even kind of backpedaling away a little bit from helping Maduro because they specifically understand that he truly is a madman.
He is out of his mind, and because we are talking about Nicholas the Sweetness Maduro, CJ.
Hey, Chihuahua.
So, because we have Nicholas the Sweetness Maduro. Oh, hold on. Let me get that right mix on, Siege.
Yeah, I think you got a different playlist going. Now, do you work out to this music as well, or just?
Oh, dude, totally, bro. When I'm deadlifting, I have it on, and it motivates me.
Right.
It motivates me. Here we go. So, because we're talking about Nicholas the Sweetness Maduro, this is what he says. He says he wants to put this together in order to evade financial sanctions. And this guy is out of his mind. Okay?
Yeah, never mind his own people are eating these zoo animals.
Did you see the video of Venezuelans assaulting that cow in the field?
Yes, that skinny one, that looked like it was like an Ethiopian cow.
Yes.
Yeah,
and they were chasing. I thought I was watching a scene from The Walking Dead with the walkers about to eat a horse or a cow or something like that. But it's freaking Venezuela, man. And this guy's worried about the whole entire his little cryptocurrency. And I wonder who's going to control that, Nicholas. Would that be you?
Right.
This is what happens when Nicholas, the bus driver Maduro, is out of control, my man.
Just give me your money and I promise you a crypto. And if
That's
not,
I promise you crypto, and let me stay in power. Love it. Anyway, I guess we're coming to the end of the post, bro.
That's it. Yep, that's it. Again, so today, obviously today's Hump Day. It's Hump Day with Bix. So Bix will be coming on. I'm going to be working on getting a great release. It's very timed today with the entire We the People, the Great Awakening. Did a great interview with Lynn Ulbricht. She is the mother of Ross Ulbricht from the Silk Road, and the trials currently. The Supreme Court is looking over to see if what specifically happened and the amount of injustice with that. So great interview. I want to work to try to get that released today. And then also real quick, while we're online, it looks like North and South Korea have agreed for the first time to combine to have an Olympic ceremony for the Winter Olympics together, and then also form a team as well. I believe it's the hockey team that they're going to try to do a combined team to participate. And we all know how much Kim Jong-un loves sports, loves all those things. So if the Olympics bring about some diplomacy, I think it's also a time that we have to be very concerned as far as potentially the deep state of how upset they're going to get about these negotiations and a peaceful resolution to the peninsula that we know that they did not want.
Absolutely. So that's all good stuff, man. That's all good stuff, and let's just continue to pray that the dark evil empire that is the deep state continues to fail and wane and fall on the wayside. With that being said, folks, again, subscribe. We're up to over 13,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We have many more on our podcasts and other platforms that we're utilizing. So hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, share it, and hit that notification bell so you're alerted to programs. I will be talking later today. I'm gonna do it, Siege. Today I've committed to doing my new solo little snippet that I'm going to be doing called Guerrilla Insights. And I'm going to be talking about Trump pardoning the banks and what is that all about. It's not what people think. It's not what is being reported in the media. I'm going to tell you why he did what he did and how it plays into the larger geostrategic scape of what is possibly happening, what is happening actually, and some of the possible rudiments of the background to that. So with that being said, folks, this is the gorilla in the Econo Mist. And my main man, CJ. We are over and we're out. Take it away, CJ.